it's like a bit stereotyping that the woman has other responsibilities to tend to while the man doesn't have responsibilities to tend to, which we all know that that's not true in this world. It may be a like.
But what if some stereotypes are just true?
Stereotypes, I want to say, are mostly there for a reason. They are based off statistics. This is like saying many black people are left fatherless because their fathers abandoned them when they are young, which is based off a real statistic. Many black children grow up without their father figures in their lives. So, saying something is a stereotype based off a statistic isn't very viable in this case, as you can say something is a stereotype, but it is true, so it is applicable in the real world. But that statistic is true though. Look at countries such as China eating dogs, snakes, cats, bats, rats. I've been to Guangdong personally, they eat all of those. And as a Chinese myself,
Okay, alright, welcome to the second episode of the Grey Area. Okay, right. Right, okay, I'm Jaden, the host of the Grey Area. Okay, so first of all, I really made this show to like try to promote critical thinking and public discourse in the sense that, I felt like this show will encourage others to, will encourage participants and viewers to think critically about about various issues, and I would say being able to take upon multiple perspectives to form well-reasoned arguments. So like through this show, you will allow audience members to have a full and comprehensive understanding of the situation at hand. Another reason was because I would like to provide a platform for diverse voices. So in a sense that many people have differing ideologies, backgrounds, and experiences. So I felt like this show would have worked in the sense of bringing all these people together to really talk about their own personal views based on what they have experienced. And also, I also wanted to be able to foster respectful disagreements in the sense that debaters will have to learn to control their own emotions and not let them get in the way of the argument that they are currently in. So I felt like this will like help the debaters in the sense of knowing how to resolve conflicts properly and not resort to personal attacks against one another. And last but not least, I thought that this idea would have been very entertaining because of the fact that um the debates offer viewers with dynamic discussions and passionate arguments. So like I felt that it could have attracted. So after being inspired by other debate shows, I thought that this would have be able to attract a wide range of audience to so as to have increased the reach and impact of these important issues being discussed. Yeah, so those were the few reasons why I chose to start this show. Our prompt will be: gender pay gap exist and is it justified? Okay, so to give some context on what the gender pay gap is a is what people consider a very continuous issue in the modern society, as people argue on both sides that whether it's justified. Like some people say it's justified, some people say it is not justified. However, studies have highlighted statistics showing that persistent disparities in earnings across various industries and levels of experience. So therefore, people are trying to advocate for stronger policies and practices to ensure equal pay for equal work, emphasizing the importance of addressing unconscious biases and structural inequalities. However, some may also argue that the gender pay gap is not as straightforward as it appears. It suggests that the observed differences in earnings can often be attributed to a range of factors, including career choices, work hours and job tenure, and rather than a result of actually direct discrimination. So today for our show, we'll be trying out a new format. So in this case, on both sides, having we'll be having two speakers each. Okay, so for convenience sake, the people on the people who agree with the stand will be speaker A, speaker B. People who disagree, the two speakers that disagree will be speaker C and D. Okay, so the goal of today's the goal of today's debate is to try to find a to try to form a sound conclusion on whether the gender pay gap exists and should it is it justified. The speakers on both sides will be each given 10 minutes be given 10 minutes to do their research about on the topics at hand. So now for the next 10 minutes, uh, both both parties will both teams will both teams will be having a free for all. So for the next 10 minutes, so it means at 11:50 exactly, you guys will have to try to find a sound conclusion to this question that you guys started off with conflicting ideologies about. Okay, so now you guys may start.
So for your first question, you said that there was a cause for the gender pay gap, but unfortunately, I didn't really catch what the reason due to this gender pay gap is. Could you elaborate more on that?
Discrimination.
Could you further elaborate on what you mean by discrimination?
Can fall under gender biasness, which can be in hiring, promotion, and performance evaluation. And this can be like a disadvantage to women because studies have also shown that women are often perceived as less competent or more committed than their male counterparts, which affects their chance of being hired or promoted.
But you say that they are more willing to work and more productive. Wouldn't that give them the more better opportunity to get hired? So I feel like you're kind of contradicting yourself in that point.
I said that they are more committed than their male male because like they have like family commitments because like maternity leaves, they have to like take maternity leaves. Then like most of like the women, right, you would normally think of them as like they take care of their kids, so like that's why they are seen as more committed, but it's not committed to the work, it's committed to family.
So
Exactly, but
so what's the main cause of the gender pay gap?
Discrimination, because people think that women have to like take care of their family, hence like they don't get promoted because like the people will think like, oh, like are you sure you want to promote her, like be a CEO, she might be busy with like family issues and stuff.
yeah, exactly, and that is why they don't get promoted because they are not committed to the job. Why do you think that someone will get promoted just because they are not putting in the amount of effort? The equal work, equal pay is the principle that should be followed in this case. Because would you rather someone that is not committed to your job to get more earnings than someone who is putting in the hours and the effort to be better? No, right?
Wait, what?
So,
Wait,
Can you
let me step in. Okay, so to basically like summarize what speaker is that it's more of in the sense that the women are much more hardworking in the sense that they put in the same amount of effort as their male counterparts. However, due to whatever external responsibilities they have, such as being mothers, they also have to like take time and dedicate like time and effort towards these other responsibilities. So therefore, even though in the sense that they may be facing discrimination over the fact that some workers, like some companies, see that, oh, this person is a mother, they may not be capable of like handling the heavier workload, so we're more likely to just give it to a male counterpart. Yes, that's what she meant.
But yeah, you fail to see something. Women work less hours than men. So why should we pay someone for having less for someone who work less? Like why should we pay equal for someone who work less? In a statistic I saw, it was men work for 44 hours while women earn 36 hours. Why should we pay women fairly if there is such a difference?
Okay, but this is like based on wait, hold on.
Mine is also a statistic. Women work less than men.
But right, if you think about it, right, there are normal working hours, which is like 9 to 5. Like the company sets this type of work hours, and if the men choose to work more, then it's not really like the woman's not really like the woman's fault, right? Because they also have like family to like tend to and stuff.
So should we incentivize more work? Should we incentivize people who want to do more, or people who just want to stick according to the arrangement that the company has set for them?
Yeah, but it's their own choice.
Yeah, but why does the company have to reward them for their work? Have to sort of sacrifice their earnings just for people's personal choices? The company's aim is to make profit.
If you want to say that the women should get paid more because they have more pressing matters such as family, right? Can't you argue the same for men? The men also have to put in the hours and the time to earn the bread back for their family. They have to be the breadwinners if the women cannot do it. So the gender pay gap is justified because the men are the ones mostly, based on statistics, putting in the hours and earning the money for the family to work, to earn.
Sometimes it's also about how efficient the person is. If a woman is working smarter than a man, like if a woman can get more work done in the 9 to 5 that is set, it doesn't mean the women are doing less. It just means that.
Yes, I understand that. And that's the point of equal work, equal pay. If they can put in more work and that is better, more efficient, it's understandable we will give them higher pay because they are putting in work more efficiently and being more productive. So that is completely understandable.
Okay, just think about it. If like during 9 to 5, I can complete this much of work, but then compared to a man, he can only complete half of what I did from 9 to 5.
Yeah,
So
then you should be a bit more. Yeah,
he has to put extra hours to complete the amount of work that I did. So why should him be rewarded for something that is like we both did? You know, like it's more efficient.
Yes, but those are very specific situations where, of course, you should be a bit more than the men. But overall, it's seen that men, like I'm pretty sure there's some statistic that men are most likely more productive than women. That's why they are incentivized to give more a higher paid job, and also since they work more hours and are also more efficient due to some statistic, it makes sense to pay them more than.
More hours doesn't mean like they should have more pay. Like, why do you think like some people OT without any pay?
Yeah, but if you have more hours and you're more efficient, shouldn't you get more pay?
Okay, but let's say. Yeah, sorry, you continue.
But like if, for example, like the teachers have this amount of work to get marked, okay, and if they want to mark more, they can mark more on the same day, but they don't have to.
What?
It doesn't matter like if they work more, because like they're still getting the work done eventually. It doesn't matter when they get it done.
Yeah, for teachers it doesn't, but in corporate world, when you get it done matters. Like how fast you get it done. Because some companies have very strict deadlines. So it's better to spend more hours on that and be more efficient with it, which leads to you getting more pay.
Actually, I think your point about the teachers also isn't that valid. Teachers are supposed to have a deadline for themselves and for their students when their work should be marked. If the teachers take extremely long hours and extremely long times to mark the students' work, the students will also not be able to get their results back and see where they are improving, where their mistakes are being made. And how can they learn from this if the teacher themselves are taking very long time to finish the work and give it back to the students? So, through this, I don't think the teachers should be getting paid in accordance to whether or not they do the work or not, but rather how they do the work, when they do the work, and if they do it properly or not. It's a matter of how much work is being put in and how much they are getting paid in that aspect.
But I feel like the part where you also mention like the statistics on how like guys are more efficient than girls is kind of a stereotype because like maybe
I mean, it
it's
varies. It varies, but to be honest with you, yeah, but a woman will probably be more efficient in doing psychology, like like nursing, like all that. But the STEM field is generally dominated by men, and these men are probably more like I think there's some statistic that says, oh yeah, men are 90% of engineers, while women are 10%. Yeah, it just shows that men are more likely to be in the STEM field and thus will receive higher pay.
It's like the point I brought up earlier. Um, even though men dominates these kinds of field like engineering, woman dominates fields like being supermarket like salesperson. Like these are also very important like in our daily lives.
Yeah, but the supermarket is less influential on our world than a STEM engineer, don't you think? Because obviously the world works on supply and demand. If you have a high low supply of STEM engineers, you have to pay a lot to get them. That's how salaries fall.
Okay, actually, no, I do have a question for both speakers, for speakers here. Okay, so you mentioned more about like male dominated work fields, and then you said that women are good in like certain other lines of work such as like nursing or like
Yeah.
psychology. So like, isn't that also technically a stereotype in the sense that you say that
What?
women?
It's true that 90% of male
Yeah, fine.
like
I
the
get it in the sense that it is male dominated, but like it doesn't necessarily mean that women are not good at it. I mean, they men may be there may be since the thing is the field is mainly men. It doesn't necessarily mean there is women who are also in the field which are incapable.
so why
We
don't
are not
women do
saying that they are incapable, but it's rather the fact
You
that
said it's
because of the men being more efficient in the sector, that they are being paid more. That's why the gender pay gap exists.
no, but like okay, but then it's been previously mentioned, like as previously established from what speaker A and B has said that the fact that men being more efficient is more of a stereotype because just because men may spend more hours doesn't necessarily mean they are getting more work done. They could be doing same amount of work.
so is women being more productive than men also a stereotype?
No, I'm not saying
So if we baseline it both male and female have the same efficiency, but men work more hours, then doesn't that mean that men are getting more work done?
fine. In that case, then it means yes.
Yeah.
I mean like I feel like you're looking at it in a way where men should be promoted, but I think what we're trying to say is like close the pay gap means equal. So like if like if the man does more work than a woman, then yeah, a man should get promoted. But then,
Yeah.
like, the woman does more work than a man, then the woman should get promoted. So I don't think the whole point is to allow men to get promoted more, but is more to close the pay gap and like people. Basically, people should be given equal opportunities and like not have any stereotypes or biasness like that is implemented into this. So like it shouldn't be like, oh, cause she's a woman, she can't do as much as a man can. I think it should be both based on like the ability and how efficient the person can be. So like yeah, like overall it will help contribute to the workplace. So I don't think that it's like I don't think you should be arguing that the man should get promoted instead of the woman because like the man works more hours. But I think like the point is to close the pay gap so that both parties can be equally treated and given the correct amount of chance that to succeed based on their abilities.
But but obviously, if you are going to incentivize men and women to work, okay. Imagine a scenario where if you do this and then your male and woman do the same work and they get paid equally, but due to like external commitments for women such as maternal leave and other things, I don't know. Women will obviously work less due to these commitments if we baseline that men work as efficient as women. So obviously, as a company executive, I wouldn't really. I would give my opportunities to the woman if she has shown that she's more productive and more efficient than the men. But if you are baselining it and she has external commitments, I think I will pick the male one.
Okay, could there be any more points that you guys would like to address?
Oh yeah, companies who engage in this sort of thing is called tokenism. Tokenism is a bad thing, like in all economies, because it incentivizes diversity instead of efficiency, instead of productivity. So tokenism is what some people are preaching about this gender pay gap thing. So I think it's a very bad thing.
Exactly, and companies may use the form of tokenism as a way to appeal to the public that their company is actually being better as compared to other companies, as they are mitigating the gender pay gap. But in this way, they are not actually trying to solve the problem, but rather to appeal to the rest of the workforce that their company is better, when it is actually not. It's not solving the issue here that is at hand.
Sorry, can I rebut one of the points?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, the part where you say like, if both men and women like works the same, but then like as like the company boss, like because you feel like the woman has more responsibilities, so you'll choose the man, right? That's what that's what you said, right?
Yeah,
Right?
I thought, yeah.
Yeah. Like, aren't you also just like saying like that man doesn't have any other responsibilities? Like, it's kind of like stereotyping also, because like there's like a stereotype that like women are mothers, then like they have to like go home take care of their children, but like men also have other responsibilities to tend to, which I think people overlook.
Like
what if like they're single fathers?
that's very specific, but most likely you would probably see more mothers in the woman sector than single fathers in the male section.
Okay, then what if they have like other like family, like they have like some like their parents are sick and they have like take care of their parents, or
that also applies for women. It's not really a male exclusive thing.
But the thing about that is, companies will not specifically focus on these small specific situations for the gender pay gap, as they will obviously be poor enough to give subsidiaries to families that really need it and employees. But however, this is not applicable to those that are, let's say, single fathers, but then they don't put in the hours or try to even make an effort to support the family, you know?
Yeah, I'm saying like they do put in the same amount of efforts, just like as women, but like also like it's like a bit stereotyping that the woman has other responsibilities to tend to, while the man doesn't have responsibilities to tend to, which we all know that that's not true in this world. It may be a like not as common as women, but it's still there. And like I think that like we should also take into consideration that they are still people and that they have responsibilities to tend to, and we shouldn't just like not choose the woman because we think that the man doesn't have responsibilities to tend to.
But I'm pretty sure that if you are going across stereotypes, we know that men are more men work more than like men are in
Which
like
is
this sort
why
of their work.
eliminate stereotypes.
But what if some stereotypes are just true?
Okay.
But stereotypes, I want to say, are mostly there for a reason. They are based off statistics. This is like saying many black people are left fatherless because their fathers abandoned them when they are young, which is based off a real statistic. Many black children grow up without their father figures in their lives. So, saying something is a stereotype based off a statistic isn't very viable in this case, as you can say something is a stereotype, but it is true, so it is applicable in the real world.
Okay, but actually, no, I do have to step in here in saying that I get it. Yeah, some statistics, some stereotypes may be based on statistics. However, some of them, they are made through very derogatory stereotypes, such as some people saying that Asians are all good at math, something along those lines. So in that sense, I mean, or like Asian people eat weird animals. So in this sense that
But that statistic is true though. Look at
Yeah, it's
countries
true,
such as China eating dogs, snakes, cats, bats, rats. I've been to Guangdong personally, they eat all of those. And as a Chinese myself, I eat all of those. So that statistic is not wrong.
okay, okay. Okay, so, okay, I start again. Like 3, 2, 1. Okay, so so if you're saying that like these like stereotypes are something you believe in because you actually do, like example for the stereotypes in towards Chinese people, you just because you follow them like personally, does it necessarily reflect on all other Chinese people? No, maybe. So in the sense that most stereotypes they are based on like very derogatory or like past practices, in the sense that stereotypes are very backwards, like they how to say, they don't allow people to like move forward in this because of previously made assumptions. So I think that you saying that some stereotypes are true based on statistics is correct, but however, not all stereotypes, like stereotypes in general, should not like yeah, some stereotypes are not just it should not be justified.
Yeah, we know some stereotypes cannot be unjustified.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, we acknowledge that. So okay, so
Okay, this is fine.
wait, so are we do we understand more about the gender pay gap now? Now that you know that, I don't know if you know that if it's a myth. Like some of your sort of information is a myth that
Okay, I mean,
You are not wrong to say that we have uncovered a lot about this topic. We definitely have dug deep, but I think the problem is that we aren't really addressing the real problem at why the gender pay gap is so prevalent and like why it's justified. We haven't been able to come to a conclusion. So I would like to propose my idea, which is that through the gender pay gap is justifiable because the gender pay gap exists for a reason. People are not putting in the hours, the effort to match the pay that should be given to them. So the gender pay gap exists.
Honestly, I think that the gender pay gap has existed for quite a long time because, like, firstly, like, in the past, women don't go to school while men go to school. Hence, like, they are seen as men is being seen as more educated, and they can like it's been a stereotype. Even though woman goes to school now, it's been a stereotype that lasted for quite some time already. And last time in the past, men go to work, but women don't go to work. So I think that this idea of the men being more capable has been instilled since the past. But even though times are changing now, I don't think that this mindset has been changed fully yet. Yeah, so that's why I think that this gender pay gap still exists because the woman is seen as not very capable or slower compared to the men.
But the government has okay, don't talk about those third world countries. First world countries, they have governments that support schemes that sort of destroys the discrimination in the workplace for men and women. So I don't really see how this mindset change. Maybe prominent in third world countries, but for first world countries, I don't really see that. I don't really see that it's a issue.
Even though the government does support these schemes, there is evidence based on statistical data and research studies that it exists, that this gender pay gap exists. And obviously, like, I don't really think that you can find evidence.
Yeah, we know that the gender pay gap exists. We are just saying why it's justified.
Huh?
Yeah.
The gender pay gap definitely exists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are saying why it's justified.
Okay. The speaker and B, would you like to continue? Or not, I would like to propose like a conclusion to this situation, and then you guys can see.
Let me ask Speaker B.
Okay, speaker B, would you like to say anything? So,
Wait.
Yeah, I felt like they were thinking that we were fighting for the we were denying the existence of the gender pay gap the entire time.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a misunderstanding in the arguments.
Yeah.
Speaker D, you got no right to say, bro. For question 3, you said the exact same thing speaker A or B said, bro.
Just one thing to add is that when you say like some fields are more dominated by men and some fields are more dominated by women, it doesn't really like determine how much a man or a woman should be paid, because ultimately careers are chosen by each individual. It's not like it's not like a woman have to be a nurse, that's why a woman is a nurse. A man can also choose to be a nurse. So like it doesn't justify the fact that there should be a gender pay gap because the different genders are doing more than.
Okay, yeah, but if you take those male dominated fields and then you take those female, okay, you take these male dominated fields, right? These fields have high salaries. So going based on that, right, you already are saying that men are paid more than women, because since they majorly dominate the entire male industry, like the high pay salaries for the women dominate the lower paying salaries. That will already say that there's a gender pay gap, because women are getting paid less than men because they work in different fields, and the men so happens to just work in the more dominated fields, like the more like high salary fields.
The men work in the.
This is not like It's what you're getting paid for what you do. It's not like you are doing the same thing and you're getting paid differently.
Yes, but it's the fact that men work in more financially higher earning areas, so it should be obvious that they will be getting more pay than the women who work low paying jobs. And you are right to say that men and women can choose to work which jobs they want. A man can become a nurse, a woman can become an engineer. But it is about the overall statistic as a whole, as an entire gender, where they decide to work in, as more women are usually typically nurses, so their pay is going to be less than engineers that are predominantly male and they are earning more.
Women are getting paid less because women are working in like a field that pay less. Whereas my understanding of a gender pay gap is that a woman earning lesser than a man for same work that they are doing.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, but okay, maybe we drifted off that, but our other point still remains. But our other point still remain that even if they do the same job, it's still sort of justified.
Okay, speaker D, C or D, anything else to add? Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna say first that just because like the points like they may not know what exactly to say to rebut the points doesn't necessarily mean that they lose in this debate, because in this sense that there is no winner or loser in this debate. We are just here to all learn from one another. Okay, so are you all ready for like the conclusion that I have gathered through hearing your talk? As from like what I have gathered, that the gender pay gap is influenced by a number of factors, including discrimination, unconscious bias, and occupational segregation. So, however, there's also other factors that come into play, such as individual choices. So, where people choose like work hours and how they choose to negotiate their and like their ability to negotiate their own contracts. So, while some aspects of the gender pay gap can be attributed to personal choices and behaviors, uh, s- under some people say that there is significant evidence points to biases and inequality and structural inequalities such as stereotypes disadvantage women. So, my balanced stance is that in order for us to really achieve a fairer and more equitable workplace, it is important to address both the systemic and individual factors contributing to the gender pay gap. So, like through like things such as policy changes and promoting gender diversity in all fields, and supporting work-life balances, and encouraging equitable pay practices. So, by companies taking more comprehensive approach, society can work towards closing the gender pay gap in a manner that respects both individual agency and the and while also addressing the parts of the structure that needs to be reformed. Do you guys have anything to rebut about the conclusion?
Can you elaborate more on discrimination?
It's been okay. So the idea of like women being more discriminated than their male counterparts is from like what I've heard like in this discussion. So it's more of in the sense that as like what was mentioned by speaker A and B is they feel the women some women feel like they're discriminated because of um, despite the fact they are like they have like external, like more obvious external responsibilities such as motherhood. They are not seen as they are not seen
How is
as
that discrimination? That is simply being that is simply like being meritocratic.
no, as in, okay, like women put in same effort as men, but no, as a matter of fact they're even putting in more effort because they're like obviously they have other external factors they're contributing to.
That's not discrimination. That's meritocratic.
No, meritocracy is that both put in same amount of work and like by right they should be given equal opportunities, correct?
No, but if you want to be promoted to executive positions, you need to have more free time. You know, the person being a mother will obviously have less free time. So if you want to be promoted to a job with more responsibilities, you need to have more disposable time. Something that which like more mothers increasingly don't have.
No, as in more of in the sense that like these mothers may know that personally they are capable of taking on taking higher positions. However, companies
Yeah,
feel
but
some companies feel that like whether it be in the mother's best interest, like is whether it be for the mother's best interest, or they feel male counterpart has more time, they will much rather pick their male counterpart over the female counterpart just because of external responsibilities.
yeah, that's not discrimination.
Oh, okay. So how exactly is it not discrimination?
It's basically saying that it's basically saying that since one has more responsibilities than the other, while the other has not really much responsibilities and has potential to do better, then we should give obviously more. Then the one with like more disposable time and has potential should be given the opportunities more than one who probably does not have as much disposable time.
That is not what I meant. No, what I said was fe- the females may be given more time. They even despite seem like to have a lot of like how they have their time taken up by other external factors such as being as motherhood. They are as capable as their
Yeah, they might be as capable, but the problem here is disposable time.
okay, fine. Then I will accept your I will accept what you right. I will accept your okay. I will accept your point. Okay, so remove the part about discrimination. Okay, so I are both sides happy with the conclusion that's been given now? Okay, so okay, since both sides be seem to like not have any form of like discrepancies with the conclusion, I guess I will end the episode here. But okay, so I would like before I end, I would like to praise both sides for putting their time and effort towards this discussion. However, I would like particularly praise speaker A and B for their efforts, and yeah, they send me most of their yeah, and like the amount of resources that they send me as opposed to speaker C and D is like much more. So it means that I felt that their how to say their how to say the way they discussed it was a bit more fleshed out. With that comes to the second episode of the Grey Area. Right? Thanks.